So what made you want to get into law out of all of the things that you could do? You said law.
Let me backtrack a little bit. So when I was growing up,
So what are the three things that you would change if you had the power?
I am of the opinion that a lot of things we go to court for can be done virtually to save as the stress of travel. Sometimes you go to court, you spend 5 to 10 minutes, you're done, you're out. Be in traffic for 2 hours. Just go and say, my lord, my lord, my lord. The law in itself, the law practice in Ghana itself has been very conservative. Let me tell you a funny story.
Tell me. I'm curious. I want to hear all about it.
The firm that I heard of paying the most in this country as for pupils at the time was, why were we not being admitted?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so we went on a whole demonstration, went to court, took them to court.
With you, I'm sure, I love law, I want to do law, but how did you manage with the workload?
At a point, I was just so drained, I was so tired. I don't think I've told anyone this, but one time I stood on my balcony briefly.
Really?
Yes, I was so tired, but then I just thought of her, I was like, no.
Now, as a lawyer, you are a junior in your company. In one of your courtroom diaries, you funnily mentioned that at a bar, it can take ages for your case to be called when you're a junior.
Yes.
How do you deal with that ranking system? Is it something that you value and that you honor, or is it something that is very difficult? My learned friend, do you solemnly promise to be as truthful as possible?
I solemnly promise.
Okay.
Help me, God.
Hello, my name is Miriam. Welcome to the Career Series. In this series, I sit down with Ghanaians living in Ghana to discuss the realities of being a professional in Ghana in their profession. How do they get into the industry? The best and most difficult part of their job. How much do they earn? All of it. Well, today I have a lawyer with me. Her name is Regina. A few years ago, she was a student at the University of Ghana. Now she's a lawyer working at a legal firm in Ghana. Okay, so you get to know the ins and outs of being a lawyer in Ghana. Let's go.
Hi, Regina. How are you doing? Welcome to my channel.
Miriam.
Okay, so we are.
Thank you so much.
So we are not in the courtroom. I am not your client, so I'm allowed to call you Regina, isn't it?
Yes, you are.
Very good. Because I was thinking, please, doing this interview, calling you lawyer Regina would be a bit strange.
No, that's too.
Yes,
that's too formal.
Yes. What I love about this is that you seem as excited as me to be doing this kind of interview. Can you share how as you said, it's your first kind of interview / so tell me how you feel.
Yes. Okay. So when I first saw your message on Instagram, I was like, why? How did she choose me? How did she? And trust me, I've told my friends about it. I've told them that the link will be ready. As soon as it's ready, I'm going to share it with them. I'm really looking forward to it.
I feel like I won't be your last person to interview because I feel because I think you do great things in the future, and even what you're doing now is so cool, and you're so confident, and the way that you come across, and it's like, of course I would love what you do. So I said that my last name is Osei. My last name is very common. There's so many Ghanaians called Osei. I don't even feel unique, like Osei. I know that it's nice, but there's so many Ghanaians with that last name. And so when I came across your last name,
true.
I was like, Regina Apalu. I was like, I've never heard a Ghanaian with that last name. So it made me curious to know, like, which part of Ghana are you from and where were you raised?
My dad is an Ewe, but he has origins from Togo, actually. But he was born in Ghana. First time he told me, I was like, oh.
Yeah. I heard about the Ewe part because we spoke before, but the Togo part, I wasn't expecting it.
Yes. His parents, I think they were born there, but then they moved to Ghana, Regina in the eastern region to be precise, and had their children there. So my father, his siblings, they were all raised in Ghana, born in Ghana, raised in Ghana. And my mom is from Kukurentumi. She's an Achim. And yes, people usually say Ache Mafia, but no, she's not part of the Ache Mafia.
Okay. I see. So it's like, did you grow up in Accra or Koforidua?
I grew up in Koforidua. I had my basic, in fact, right from birth till I finished my BEC, I was in Koforidua. I only moved to Accra after my BEC.
I see. How did you find it? Like, because I know Accra is a lot. How did you like? I don't know. I just
honestly, when my mom said we're moving to Accra, I didn't want to come. I didn't like it. Yes, because all my friends were in Koforidua. Yes, I mean, I'm like, I don't know anybody in Accra. What have we come to do in Accra? But she was insistent. And as an African child, you can only protest in your head. You can't really voice it out.
Yeah, I get that.
So I didn't have any other choice but to follow her. Now, when I came, it was lonely, honestly.
Because your friends are all in media and all of that.
Exactly. And my mother's only child. So it was just the two of us. So it was TV, reading, TV, reading, until I went to St. Rose's Senior High School and then eventually made new friends.
I see.
And then, yes, those new friends were in Accra. So gradually assimilated into the Accra life. And honestly, I don't want to go back to Koforidua.
So you become an Accra girl?
Yes. I don't speak Ghana. But my dad is still in Koforidua. My siblings, so occasionally I go there to visit.
Are you like the only girl? I mean, are you the only child or you have like other siblings?
With my mom, I'm her only child.
I see.
But my dad has other kids. So my dad's side, we are 4.
I see. Well done, because it's not easy, isn't it? When you didn't grow up in Accra to kind of change environment.
It was hard.
Yes, I understand. Okay, so let me give a little bit of a background as to how I found Regina, okay? I was on LinkedIn minding my business, also trying to find people that I could have on this show. And I came across your profile and I thought it was so cool. For those who don't know, Courtroom Diaries is a concept that you kind of brought up on LinkedIn. And what it is that you stand in front of the camera and you kind of share the things that happened to you during the week as a lawyer. So the fun things, the not so fun things is really interesting because you get to kind of have a glimpse of how it is to work as a lawyer in Ghana.
Welcome, litigants, to Mr. Palu's Courtroom Diaries. This week, I have decided to show you other aspects of a lawyer's job beyond the courtroom, as you saw earlier, and drafting of processes. But before that, this is the battalion from Harvey and Company on the way to court.
Yeah.
And so it made me curious to know, like, what was the motivation behind Courtroom Diaries? What made you want to do that?
All right. Honestly, it was the Holy Spirit. I started getting the promptings to start this late last year. I think maybe early this year. I don't quite remember. But you know how human beings we are. Oh my God, who's going to like this? Who's even going to watch this? They're going to get bored after some time. I mean, it's just me talking, nothing interesting. But then he kept pushing me. And eventually he made me tell my friend about it, who held me accountable. And so I did. And funny enough, I thought people would not like it. I thought people would not hop onto it. But I meet people just now when I was in church. One of the choristers came up to me. You're the lady who has been doing the Courtroom Diaries. Oh, it's so interesting. I was like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah. And the ideas I keep getting every week, I never saw myself going down this path. I never saw myself being a content creator, seeing myself out there on social media to tell people how my week went and all of that. And honestly, till date, I still question him. God, what's the end goal of this? Because the law in itself, the law practice in Ghana itself has been very conservative, and people like to keep things on the low. You meet a lot of people in court, clients, and they are so lost because their lawyers don't take the time to, explain things to them, make them understand how the practice is. The jargons, the terms, they can be quite heavy. Some lawyers don't have the time to break it down and make the layman understand it. Also, I have a lot of people come to me, and just last week I was in my senior high school, my former senior high school, St. Rose's. A lot of the students want to do law, but they don't even know where to start from.
Yeah.
They don't know how the trajectory is like. And it was the same for me. It's like, you don't really have somebody holding your hand. And so this is a way of, should I say, opening up the law, letting people see the good side, the bad side. Often people want to do law because they think there's a lot of money they enter.
There's a lot of misconception and assumption.
Exactly.
And I feel like a lot of professionals hide behind that. They like the mysterious side of it. And so they don't want to reveal a bit too much. They like that mysterious.
Exactly. They think that's what brings them money. That's what brings them clients. But really, let's let people see what it is. Especially the young ones who are coming, let them see the reality. Let them know what they are getting themselves into so they can condition their minds accordingly. So I guess that's why they started.
And another aspect that I found interesting here is that, if I'm being honest, if I saw Courtroom Diaries on TikTok, it wouldn't have intrigued me as much, because a lot of people do a day in the life and all of that on TikTok. But on LinkedIn, your content stands out, I think. I feel like LinkedIn can be so overwhelming. So even me, sometimes I stop myself from writing because I feel like my content is not perfect enough. Were you a bit nervous to share the good and bad side of your profession and the things that you do, or it was natural for you?
No, it wasn't natural at all. Even till now, sometimes I question myself because when I'm posting on LinkedIn, this type of content is typical of Instagram and TikTok. Won't I be seen in a different light? Because LinkedIn is very serious. Everybody is coming there with their master's degrees to announce their, like you said. But what I'm putting out there is a bit different from what LinkedIn is used to. It's different from the norm. And so I always question myself, is this? But then there's something one day God told me. He says, you don't have to be the same to make an impact. And you don't need to have a lot of likes to make an impact. Even if it's just one person, you can impact the person. And so if he has called you, he will equip you.
So you did it even though you were afraid, and all of you had so many doubts, but you did it anyway.
I did.
That's amazing. And you have Regina the lawyer, but you also have Regina the person. So I want to know, you did touch on this a little bit in the beginning, but did you grow up with family members who were in education? Are you kind of the first one to ever do it? How was the atmosphere around education around you?
Okay. My mom started out as a teacher. She was teaching, I think, class 3, Ghana. And so, learning was not an option for me. As a teacher's daughter, you had to learn. But like I said earlier, it was just the two of us growing up. Occasionally, we had people who would come in to help with the chores and taking care of me while she's away. But essentially, it was just my mom and I. My parents are divorced, so I've been living with her my whole life. So it wasn't a very noisy household. So my companions were my books. I used to read a lot of storybooks, and then TV. Back then, I could tell you what every TV station would show at what time.
We have a lot of similarities. Same thing as me. My companion was the library. I love books.
Exactly. Yeah. It just takes you from your reality into another world, and you're just immersed in there. Yeah. It was a fun time, yes. So that was it for me. My mom, it was when I was growing up that she strived to do her bachelor's degree and then eventually her master's degree. So
in what?
Accounting.
Oh.
But I hate math. Oh my God, I don't like math.
Me too.
And she was so disappointed that I didn't follow after her.
Oh no, you're doing law now, it's fine.
Yes, now she's so proud. Whenever I go to the office, oh, this is my daughter, the lawyer. Everybody knows me in her office. Oh my God.
Can you imagine? So your mom worked really hard as a single mom, creating that environment of, I guess you had someone to aspire to as well, because she saw that, she was a teacher and education is important. I guess also because you went to Accra, you didn't have that many friends, so you used books as your companion during that time.
That's true. Being an only child can suck. So you have to create your own world to be able to survive. Yes, the coping mechanism. All in all, I guess it has shaped me to be who I am, because my friend, I have a friend, she's always asking me, don't you get tired of being alone? You're always by yourself. I'm like, Yes, I can't go out when I want to, but I don't mind enjoying my own company.
And I'm just curious, you said that you hated math. Same. The thing is, when you don't understand something, you tend not to like it because why mama not understanding this thing?
Yeah.
Is it a thing where law was something that you understood a bit more, so that's why you wanted to get into it? What made you want to get into law out of all of the things that you could do? You said law.
Let me backtrack a little bit. When I was growing up, because my grandmother was a teacher, my mother was a teacher. That's what I had known. So I said, oh, I'll also be a teacher. My mother said, no, you will not be a teacher.
Why?
And she said her mother was a teacher, she was a teacher. I will not follow in their footsteps.
Hey! But teacher is nice, isn't it?
But in Ghana, they don't make a lot of money.
Okay.
So she said, no, I won't follow in her footsteps. Okay. Then I said I wanted to be a journalist. She said, if I'm not going to be on TV like Nana Banamwa, I'm not going to make money. So I should forget about it. So for a very long time, I was just going to school, moving from one grade to the other, not knowing what I wanted to do in my life.
How old were you around that time?
Maybe 10, 11, at most 12.
Okay.
Yes. And then just before I entered senior high school, I was watching an interview on Metro TV at the time. They were interviewing prisoners, and most of them were on remand, but then they've been left there because they don't have legal aid. Nobody's coming to help them and all that. And I was like, I'm going to rescue these people. I'm going to be a lawyer.
I see.
So that's how I decided to do law. But really, the reasoning behind it has changed now. For me now, I believe law is what I'm meant to do. It's a calling for me.
Okay.
And let me tell you a funny story.
Tell me. Yeah, I'm curious. I want to hear all about
it. So my final exam in Roses, that's the WASI, I failed my math paper. And so I had to stay home and rewrite the math because without it, the universities wouldn't admit you at the time. And it is law that I had chosen for both Legon, University of Ghana, and Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. My mom went to the private schools. Funny enough, nobody wanted to admit me because of the math issue. So I had to stay home. I rewrote the math and then I applied again. Just before I applied, somebody very close to me told me that I didn't get an A1 and so I shouldn't apply for the law. I cried. And I came to my mom and I came to tell her, I said, no, it's law that you will do. So she made me, in fact, she bought the application forms, did the application, and chose both law for me in both universities. When the results came, I had passed and both of them had chosen me for law.
Oh, wow.
Now, I do my 4 years. In Ghana, it's only the Ghana School of Law that certifies people to become lawyers. And you have to write an exam after you finish your degree to be able to enter Ghana School of Law. Yes. So we wrote, I knew I passed because I gave it my all. When it came, usually they would release the results of everybody who had passed. And then the pass mark is 50. So if you get below 50, there's like a red line showing that you didn't make it. But this time around, they only released the results of just a few people. And then the rest of us were left hanging. So I didn't know my score. Then later, somebody leaked everything. I saw that I had made the pass mark. So why were we not being admitted?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so we went on a whole demonstration, went to court, took them to court. Parliament came in, and then eventually they changed their minds. Everybody was surprised.
How did you feel around that time? Because it's very easy to lose motivation when you say you feel like you passed this thing, but they still won't allow you in. What gave you strength? Is it your mom saying you would do law that gave you confidence? Because it's so easy to give up. Like, oh, let me just do something else.
Yes. So I told her, let me just do political science for now. The pass mark for law is higher than political science. But she said no. But me, mentally, I had prepared myself for the worst. And then when the whole Makola Ghana School of Law thing happened, I told my mom that there's no way I'm writing this exam again. Yeah. It's a one-time thing for me. So if they say they won't admit me, they should take their paper. They should take their school. And it was a tough period because when we entered, our mates had already started. We had to push. Yeah, but thankfully we made it.
I don't know if it's the audio or whatever, but I heard that you took them to court during that time. I went to court. I was like, you did. I was like,
yes, collectively, not just me, but collectively.
Wow.
We took the General Legal Counsel to court.
Wow.
But Thankfully, it didn't spawn into a very long legal battle. Like I said,
the thing is, I don't know much about the context. Is it a thing where they were failing people who had passed?
Okay, so in previous years, the pass mark was 50. Okay. Now, the exam is in 2 parts. The criteria is you make the part A was 40 marks, and then the part B was 60 marks. So altogether 100. So however you make your 50, they didn't state. So you could get 40 in the part A and 10 in the part B. As long as you made your 50, that's fine. Now they released the results and they are saying that you needed to have made at least 20 in the part A and then 30 in the part B. Now, our argument was, if that is so, then you should have told us before the exam. You don't tell us after the exam. And so it's not fair to disqualify, because if you've gotten like 60, 70, you have not admitted them. But then other people who had gotten 50, just because of the mark dynamics, you've gone ahead to admit them. That's not fair.
Yeah.
And so that's why we went on the demonstration, and then we went to Parliament House, presented our petition to them.
Now I understand why you're doing videos. I will do videos and you will see me.
Yes.
Okay, so after researching, I did a bit of research. I read that there are 3, that is perfect segue to what you just said, that there are 3 main steps, very heavy steps to becoming a professional lawyer in Ghana. So I will share a bit of what I've read, and then you tell me if it sounds accurate.
All right.
So the first thing is you should study law at university, at an accredited university, of course, Bachelor of Laws, which is usually for 4 years. After that, you need to pass the entrance exam to be able to enroll and enter the Ghana School of Law, which is usually for 2 years. Once you've passed all your bar exams as well as the interviews, you are qualified and are called to the bar. However, it doesn't end there. After graduating from the Ghana School of Law, the next step is to be a pupil for 6 to 8 months under an experienced lawyer, to be like a training program, and you cannot practice without it. After you've gone through all of those steps, then you can officially practice. I'm even tired. And work as a lawyer in Ghana. Regina, am I right? How similar or different was your journey?
Well, that's the trajectory. That was a trajectory for me. It's just that if we hadn't been admitted when we were, it meant I would have done more years than the 6 years. Until you make the admission, you keep trying. And I know people who have written 5, 6 times. So that's 6 years. Yeah, that's a lot. But I'm so thankful. And even upon getting into the Makola, it's not so easy. People spend
the Makola
years.
is the
Ghana School of Law. It's situated in the Makola market in Ghana. Okay. So we usually call it Makola. So when you enter, there are 2 parts. Now, the part 1, you write 6 courses, and then part 2, 4 courses. You have to make sure you pass all of them. But if you fail 3, you'd have to do part 1 all over again.
I see.
I know people, at the time I was about to be called, I saw someone's index number 2016. So it means he had been in the school since 2016. And I was being called in 2023.
Oh, wow.
So about 7 years.
Wow.
Yes, people really keep long in this.
Did you pass on your first try?
Thankfully, I did.
Good.
All my papers, by the grace of God. I didn't have any resets.
So I did broadcast journalism, and on my first module, we had something called Law and Ethics of Journalism. And I know that, before you start university, you're so excited. Oh my gosh, I was passionate about journalism. So of course, they're so excited. But then that first year, there's so much information too. There's so much information. Information. So with you, I'm sure, I love law. I want to do law. But how did you manage with the workload? What was that image at the end of the tunnel that kept you going and focused?
Okay. Again, back to my mother. I saw the sacrifices that she was making just for me to become somebody in the future. And so I remember in my final year, at the time we're preparing for final year exam, in the university, and then preparing for the entrance exam as well. So it was quite a lot to juggle. And I was a course rep for my class. At a point, I was just so drained. I was so tired. I don't think I've told anyone this, but one time I stood on my balcony and I briefly contemplated jumping off. Briefly. Really? Yes. I was so tired. But then I just thought of her. I was like, no. I'm the only thing she has.
Yeah.
I'm the only person she has in this life. If I die right now, my mother would follow. And so I couldn't do that to her. And aside that too, personally, when I didn't make the university right after senior high school, I was so sad. I was so angry with him. I questioned him so many times because I had never failed a paper. Yes, sometimes, honestly, sometimes I'll barely pass. Even when I don't even put in the effort, I'll pass. So I was like, God, I put in the effort. I learned. This time around that I actually put in the effort. You didn't make me pass. You didn't help me pass. And so for a while, honestly, I wasn't talking to God. He and I were not friends at all. But the thought of how hard I had to work to get into the university. And at the time too, I was the Chief Justice of the Students Representative Council back in Legon. And so my image was out there, my face was out there a bit. On the day of graduation, people would be looking out to see what class you graduated with. And so all of those things, because honestly, in the first year, I was very lost in the law school. I was so confused. I would read, I don't understand what I'm reading. You see, law, they write in a very peculiar language.
It's a lot of jargon. It's a lot of jargon. Yeah.
Even as a lawyer now, sometimes I read and reread about 3 times. I even have to consult a friend and they will take it into bits and break it down.
Yeah. So during that time, what helped you? Reading and reading and reading and reading? Or did you speak to like your mentors or your classmates? That's what helped you get it?
I spoke to a senior of mine who was a first-class student. He gave me some tips and all that. But honestly, somebody watching this interview may say she's being extra, but
nobody would say that. Nobody would say that.
The change happened when I allowed God in. I had a friend, I can't even recall exactly how he came into my life, but on hindsight, I believe God sent him to me. We started praying into my school life, my study life. Just before exam 2, we meet there to pray. And then that's when I started seeing my A's coming in. Initially, I was barely scraping by, but when I allowed, I let go and I let God, that's when I started seeing an improvement.
I see. That's great. So looking at the field of law, I feel like in life, before we even get into it, are you more so like the leader, or are you someone who likes to follow? Like, are you someone who likes to take charge, or please just tell me what to do and I'll follow you? What's your personality type?
I'm more of a leader.
Okay.
Yes.
So one thing I've noticed about the field of law in general is that, now you're a lawyer, you work at a legal firm in Accra, you're dealing with various clients, but you're also a junior associate, and that's a term used for newer lawyers. And I feel like in the field of law, there's a lot of emphasis placed on hierarchy,
seniority.
Yes. Even as part of your training, as we said, it was compulsory for you to learn under a senior lawyer to be able to practice, right? Yes. So now as a lawyer, you are a junior in your company. In one of your courtroom diaries, you funnily mentioned that at a bar, it can take ages for your case to be called when you're a junior.
Yes.
How do you deal with that ranking system? Is it something that you value and that you honor and that you love? Or is it something that is very difficult? She was like,
I get the reasoning behind the tradition that we've come to meet, in the sense that it takes a lot to be a senior at the bar. It's a lot of work, a lot of dedication, because to be able to even do 1 year of practice, it's a lot of stress and it takes a toll on you. So yes, your seniority needs to be acknowledged. Due respect needs to be given to you. However, I think in modern times, it's becoming a disadvantage in the sense that you are a junior at the bar, you go to court. Sometimes it's just a simple thing you're going to do. But because you're a junior, you have to sit there and wait for your case to be called.
And that is regardless of your case and how important your case is.
Yes. Wow. If you're lucky and your counsel on the other side is a senior, then your case will be called early, then you are out of there. Sometimes too, the tradition is if you get there and you come to do a very simple thing, you can ask permission from a senior and then they would allow you to call your case. But sometimes too, some seniors are very mean. They are not friendly. I remember one time I was in court in Tema. I was just moving a simple motion. I asked a senior for permission. Please, can I call my case? He didn't even mind me.
Wow.
He looked the other way as if I didn't exist. And as we know, time is money. Now, it's so important. You don't have time as much as we use. If they say 24 hours, but you close your eyes, you open, 24 hours is gone. And so I think we need to evolve. We need to evolve. We are too steep. In Ghana, we don't want to shift away from the tradition. Even with the wig and gown dynamic, it's a whole debate.
That wig and gown is definitely a debate. Yeah, there's a debate around the whole wig and gown and saying that it's still old-fashioned and it's based on colonial history. And what's your take on that? Are you more so the pro or the against?
And I think right now it's a bit hard for me to take a stance, so I'm on the fence. But I believe maybe we can
adjust a little bit.
Yes, it can be more flexible because now you have to go to court with your wig and gown every time you're going.
Yeah, otherwise you're naked.
Oh, you've done your research.
Yeah.
Yes, you're naked before the court, and it can be frustrating. And there's sometimes you go to the courtroom. Even now, we have a court complex in Accra. That's the modern court. You go there. Sometimes some courts, the AC is not working. So much heat. You see some lawyers literally dripping, sweat literally dripping off their faces.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you're already wearing a suit. Then you have to put on the gown and the wig. And it's black. Mm-hmm. Black attracts heat. It's too stressful. Too stressful. So maybe, I don't think it's going to happen soon because of the people at the top. They are very steeped in the tradition and would not want to let go. But eventually, I'm hoping that when some of us become the leaders of tomorrow.
And I feel like there are people out there, maybe, I'm trying to be the devil's advocate in some way. There are people out there, when I said, what image did you have at the end of the tunnel to keep you from going? Maybe for some people, that image of the gown and the thing is what gives them motivated to work hard. So
that's true.
I guess it depends.
I remember someone, just when we were about graduating, someone said, this whole debate came up and someone said, why would he come and do law if not for the wig and gown?
Oh,
some people had actually bought their wig and gown. So every morning they wear it and then put it back and come to class. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. It can be a balance of the two. Maybe not totally take it away, but some days you can wear it, some days you need to go. Yeah.
And about the seniors and ranking, you definitely think that it should evolve in some way where juniors will not feel like they are behind while seniors are always at the front.
Yes. And also some people take advantage of their seniority to bully juniors, especially when they notice that you're a female. I think you're soft.
That's a perfect segue to what I was going to ask you next. Do you think that there's a difficulty? First of all, you're a junior, so that may be difficult or not, depending on how you see it. But then you're a woman. I read, going through the statistic, I read that women are more prone to having imposter syndrome because of societies. Even though they're in high position and they worked so hard for it, they feel like they don't deserve it. They feel like they should not speak too loud. And women from different countries feel this. A lot of women feel this way in different fields in so many countries because of society. Do you feel like there's another layer of difficulty being a woman and a junior?
Yes, I do. I think as a woman, you have to work twice as hard, especially when you have a family. I have a colleague who's a mother of two, and it's tough. I see her struggles. I see her juggling everything, and it's tough. And some I personally haven't experienced it, but some complain of sexual abuse in their offices.
Oh wow.
Yes. It's unfortunate, but it's happening. It's your word against mine, a senior lawyer versus a junior lawyer. So most of the times people keep quiet. They don't put it out there, but it's happening. You hear stories because of your gender.
So in times like this, how do you keep yourself up? Like, what? Because you can't cry at the courtroom because of what is happening. So how do you keep yourself up and say, you know what? I'm amazing. I deserve to be here. How do you keep the courage to keep on going?
Well, thankfully, where I'm working now, I have my very close friend as my colleague. And so her ears are always tired. I I go to court, I come back, I just go, do you know what happened? Then I start venting.
That helps. That helps.
It does. And I'm so thankful. There's one thing too I'm thankful for. My fam, we are family. I can go to my boss with just about anything. I have another senior I can go to. Even my colleagues, we are three who share the office space. We laugh, we joke. That's a lot of law firms in Ghana, unfortunately, do not have this. You hear lots of people complain about toxic work environment. It's a prevalent thing in law firms in Ghana. And so I'm very, 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 very thankful that I have a family at work. But then all in all, just the knowledge, knowing that I am meant to be here. I'm exactly where God wants me to be at this point in my life. It keeps me at peace.
So what are the 3 things that you would change if you had the power?
Okay, I am of the opinion that a lot of things we go to court for can be done virtually to save.
Interesting.
Yes, to save as the stress of travel. You go to court, you spend 5 to 10 minutes, you're done, you're out. Be in traffic for 2 hours. Just go and say, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord. And so any way I can improve the we have it now, but now we do it only during the vacations when there's a legal vacation. Anyway, that the connectivity is not the best.
Yeah.
You log on, my Lord, I can't hear you, I can't see you. And then at the end of the day, nothing is done. So anyhow I can strive to make it better in that regard, I would.
Yeah.
You said 2 things, right? Maybe the wig and gown dynamic.
Okay, the wig and gown dynamic. Let's change it more like just start by removing the gown, something like different fabric.
Exactly. And maybe 2, now when you're going to court as a lawyer, you have to wear black. You add a bit of color. It's boring.
And black is, you're too hot. Already it's hot and then I'm wearing black.
Thank you. This weather. Now the sun is scorching. Like you can literally feel it piercing your skin.
Man.
So if you can add a bit of color, it wouldn't be bad.
Okay, so these 2 things. Okay, so in a lighter note now, in this series, what I love to do, is to talk about the assumptions and myths related to the profession. And what's amazing is that I have someone in the profession in front of me to tell me whether there are some truth to these myths and assumptions. Of course, you do not represent the voices of all lawyers in Ghana, but this is from your perspective. So, Regina, my learned friend, do you solemnly promise to be as truthful as possible?
I solemnly promise.
Okay.
So help me God.
So the first assumption, when you're studying law, you don't have time to socialize. Your life is in the books. You say no to friends, to parties, and you cannot even think of dating. Is it true or no?
Not true. But you have to have the balance. There's a saying that the law is a jealous mistress. So it demands your time and attention. And so I remember level 100, our lecturer asked us to write an essay. It was essentially about how your social life versus your academic life. Our lecturer came back to class and told us that as law students, you do not have a social life.
So that's what she said.
That's what she said. But me, I didn't follow that, and I'm here now.
Oh wow! So you still managed to have a social life even while you were studying?
Yes,
really?
yes.
What were you doing? Watching movies, going to parties?
Oh, that's fine. I wasn't born again. So Friday nights, I'd go out with my friends to Osu to dance away my stress and my sorrows.
But now that you're a practicing lawyer, do you have a social life?
I don't have, but that's more of choice. Yes.
Okay.
But you can, a lot of lawyers party. You'd see them right after Friday evening coming in their white and black to centers. So you can have both.
So this assumption is not true, guys, according to Regina. Okay. The second assumption. My earring, gosh, I'm going to embarrass myself. It's fine, guys. You guys know me already. You can't dream of being a lawyer if you don't have a rich background. True or false?
Oh, false. Ding, 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 ding. Very false. I have a classmate who's in Yale University now. He came from a poor background. He came to Accra on a scholarship. He's in Yale now on scholarship. Makola was on scholarship. So you can. There were a lot of other people in my class who came on scholarship. They are making it now.
You don't have to be rich to be able to do law in Ghana.
No, but you have to have support, financial support. You have to have somebody paying your school, somebody who's willing to go all out, because the books are expensive, the school fees are expensive. So you have to have someone.
Okay, so the second assumption is false, according to Regina. You don't have to be rich to pursue law, but you need a bit of support.
Exactly.
So the third assumption, I'll stop with the mic because I'll just embarrass myself. Legal series such as Law and Order, The Good Wife, How to Get Away with Murder, where you see lawyers saying, "Objection, my lords," they glamorize lawyers and make the profession look cooler than it is. In reality, it's not that glamorous. Is it true or no?
This is very true. Very, very true. They are worlds apart. Wow. Especially with a drama in the courtroom. It's not like that in Ghana. Because as you are talking, someone is typing, someone is recording what you're saying in the high courts, especially. And so you have to speak slowly for the recorder to capture what you're saying. It can be quite boring.
Really?
But sometimes
there was a bit of drama though. I thought there was
there can be. It's not everything that is said that'll be captured. And then the lawyers say, my lord, off record, then they will do their dramatic talking behind the scenes. Some lawyers too just come in with a flair of drama, show off and attract new clients and all that. So there can be drama. But generally speaking, what we see in the movies is not what happens. It's not the reality.
Okay. So the fourth assumption and the final one, people seem to think lawyers know all areas of the law and have ready knowledge of even the most random laws, but they only have solid knowledge involving the area of practice. They don't know everything pertaining to law. Is it true or false?
It's true.
You don't know everything about law?
No. There's fintech law. I don't know anything about fintech. I mean, just the basic stuff. My area is litigation, land litigation, divorce, debt recovery. So that's what I am well versed in all.
Arbitration as well, right? Arbitration.
Yes. But I'm hoping to get an opportunity to get practical hands-on experience. So if anybody is willing to take me on, I'm very, very willing to learn.
Yeah, because sometimes I see that people go to lawyers for everything, even things that they have not specialized in, as long as you're a lawyer.
Exactly. And I mean, as a lawyer, you can't tell the person, I don't know. You usually just say, "Oh, give me some time, I'll get back to you." Then you go and ask somebody behind the scenes and you come back.
Now, Regina, is there another assumption that you had before you got into law that completely got demolished once you got in?
Yes. Before I got into the university, whenever I said I wanted to do law, people be like, "Hey, when I'm reading, what's me reading?" Essentially means, do you know how to read? Can you read? Can you sit down and read? And at the time, I thought it was just like reading my storybook, because I used to read. I carried that notion into law school, thinking I was going to be reading something interesting, like reading my storybook. I was so wrong. Even knowing how to break it down, and you see, you can't read everything. It's a lot. It's a lot. So you have to know how to manage your time too. So it took quite some time for me to get used to the whole dynamic.
Okay, so we're done with the assumptions. I hope that we learned a lot. In terms of salary, Regina, can you make a good salary as a lawyer in Ghana when you're a junior? Do you get paid well enough to be comfortable and buy yourself nice things and do fun things? Or no, it's really bad?
No. A lot of firms in this country do not pay well. They don't pay their junior lawyers well. You finish school, having spent so much money, thinking that it's time to recoup the investments that either you made or your parents have made in you, and you're disappointed. I have friends who do not even receive salary.
Why?
Their firms practice what you call eat what you kill.
When you win a case,
so you bring a case to the firm, and maybe you take a percentage. The firm will also take a percentage. But then, I mean, you're now starting life. Who knows you really to entrust a case into your hands? The people you know have not gotten to the point where they're engaged in legal battles.
Yeah,
it takes a while. Or even when they're giving you salary, some are taking as low as 800 cedis, 1,500 cedis, 2,000, 2,005. Yes. The firm that I heard of paying the most in this country as for pupils at the time was 10,000 Ghana cedis.
That was for pupils. And so when you're a professional lawyer, you may earn less than you as a pupil.
You earn more, but maybe like 11, 12,000. Okay. But that's the highest that I had heard of at the time. So you can imagine that was just one firm. Others I had heard of 7,000. I think from the 10,000 I heard of 7,000, then 4,000. So you see the gap. Yes. A lot of law firms do not pay well. I mean,
that's not
I'm
good.
almost 3 years at the bar, and I haven't been able to save enough to buy my first car.
Wow.
Yes, and I know they say lawyers should not pay that's the public transport in Ghana. But I mean, you're not paying me enough for me to take Uber every day. Exactly.
And even in your case, do you wait at the end of the month before being paid?
I get a salary at the end of the month.
That makes me sad that you said that, a lot of lawyers, I guess also it depends on the firm and your experience or whatever, but you as a junior lawyer, you don't think is as lucrative as it may look on the outside.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. And so they tell you that when you're starting out, brace yourself. You need about 5 years to solidify yourself in the game. And then that's when you can begin attracting the clientele and then start making your money.
Yes. If you think you want to get into law because it pays well, you have to wait a few years before getting paid well in Ghana anyway. It will happen, but you need to be persistent.
Exactly. I think that's one of the myths or one of the assumptions that we have to clarify. Yeah. If you say you're coming into litigation, especially litigation, be ready to sacrifice, be ready to put in the work without necessarily feeling it in your pocket.
Yeah.
It will take a while.
Regina, are you happy working in Ghana? Is it a thing where, a lot of people are like, oh, Ghana is my home. I wouldn't want to leave. Whereas on the other side, there are people who, for them, abroad is the way to go. Which camp are you on? Are you happy working in Ghana?
Team Ghana.
Before I even finish my question, you say, I'm Team Ghana.
I'm Team Ghana.
I'm not surprised. You are Team Ghana. So even if you had the choice, you wouldn't go abroad to practice.
Unless God says otherwise, but I don't see myself leaving Ghana permanently.
I love that.
I just go to school. I just go to school and come back.
Yeah,
but I'm in Ghana.
I love that. What are my next question, I guess, would be, what are the advantages then of working as a lawyer in Ghana?
Well, first of all, it's home. I mean, there's no place like home.
That's true.
It's home. Yes, and in as much as it's stressful, it can be a bit flexible too. I have friends here. If I'm unable to handle the matter, I can quickly call on someone to step in for me. Or please go and hold my brief at so and so. Because if the person's available, he or she would do so. And we help each other like that. And I guess where I'm working to is also a factor. I'm at home. Yeah. I feel at home in my office. And sometimes it's really funny, but sometimes I don't want to come home from work. One day I stayed as late as 9, almost 10 p.m. because I just didn't want to leave the office. It's not because I was doing anything. I was done with what I was doing for the day, but I was just there. So I guess that's also a factor. And like I said, I've asked God, home or abroad. For now, he says home. So we are here for now.
I love that. I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to interview Ghanaians in Ghana, to also share this side of things that, even though it's hard, you spoke about the things that are difficult, but the being home, there's nothing that can replace being home and working in your country and even your journey. You worked so hard to be here. So
exactly. I can't just up and leave.
Yeah. I guess one of my final questions that I have for you, Regina, is what's your goal in the next 5 to 10 years? A little bird told me that you wouldn't mind being a judge. Like, why not? A little bird told me, maybe they're wrong. That little bird lied to me, but is it one of your goals in the next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years, yes. I want to be a judge one day. I really do. In fact, I started off as a judge in my university days, and that's where I developed the passion to be a judge. It's a difficult, but nothing is impossible, right?
Nothing's impossible. Exactly.
And I want to start off at the High Court. So there I need to have at least 10 years experience as a lawyer. Okay. So I have about 8 years to go. So yes. Aside that too, Arbitration. Arbitration is really an area of law that I'm still looking to gain the experience and establish myself.
I don't know if you know if the viewers are understanding the arbitration. I'll put the definition in the description.
Okay, let me explain. We say arbitration is essentially private litigation. It's an aspect of law that you don't go to the courtroom as you know it.
Okay.
We have an arbitral tribunal, people who have, that you select, you the parties who have the issue. You select, I want A, B, C to sit on my matter and decide my matter for me. Okay. So you don't put your matter out there, you don't put your news out there, as opposed to the public type that we have where anyone can walk into the courtroom and hear your case.
Okay, I get that. I see. Okay.
It has to be a household name. When you think of Lawyer Palu, I come to mind.
That's your aim, and
yes,
based on the things that you shared, you will definitely do a lot once you get there. You won't just fold your arms and wait for people to some way. Any final words that you have, Regina, for maybe people who want to get into law in Ghana, or those who are, I guess, passionate about specific fields, but they are a bit nervous and scared, and they see you and, and they can relate to everything that you're saying in regards to being a woman in the professional space and all of that. What would you say to these people?
Okay. First of all, I'd say that if you managed to watch this interview to this point, you would have noticed that I talk about God a lot. And I say this, I'm a Jesus girl, 100%. And one thing I would recommend you do is to first of all ask God, is this the path my life is supposed to take? And wait on him for his answer. Often we just ask and then we are up and about doing our own thing. But wait on him for his answer. If he confirms to you that this is what you're supposed to be doing, yes, it's not going to be easy. He's not going to wave a magic wand and then troubles will not come your way. Yeah. But you have the peace of mind and peace in your heart that you are doing what you are meant to do. You are fulfilling your God-given purpose. And honestly, that makes it easier to overcome challenges that will come your way, because they will definitely come. But when you know that this is what you're supposed to be doing, nobody can take you off. Nothing can shake you off. My mom, let me quickly chip this in.
Of course.
I finished school in University of 2021. My mom is hoping that I would have done my master's by now, because now the trend is when you're done with some people even do their master's immediately after they finish, then they do their master's. But I know that this is not the time for me to do my master's. It's not that I don't want, but this is not the time. And so no matter what she says, I'm still on the path that God wants me to be. Where I am right now is where I'm meant to be. So I stood by it. Yeah. So I highly recommend God to you.
At this point, if you're an atheist, I don't know what to say to you, because you've been talking about God.
Develop a relationship with God, and he will show you. I can give you the general tips as to how to overcome challenges, how to overcome troubles, but he knows what you need specifically for each situation at each point in time. He knows you better than you know yourself, and trust him to lead you, and everything will be fine.
Preach on!
Hallelujah.
Thank you so much, Regina, for your time.
Well, I enjoyed every bit.
And I'm sure that your journey will be encouraging and inspiring and interesting for those who are curious or want to learn more. Thank you so much. And I guess the final thing that is left is to say bye to the viewers who are watching here.
Yes.
Let's say bye to the viewers.
And let me say a very big thank you to you, Miriam. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was a fun interview, right? If you want to watch Regina's Courtroom Diaries, follow her on her social media listed here or in the description box. Show her love and tell her that you came from here. If you enjoyed this series, there's so much more. Like, subscribe to my channel and tell me in the comments that you enjoy it. See you in my next interview. Bye.
I have this cliche of the little boy who is like, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. Were you like this? Or no, you weren't into medicine at all and you had plenty of other interest? Tell me about it.
I wanted to be an engineer, but I didn't know much about engineering. I just thought it was cool. And if you had asked me at a certain point in my life, I would have been like, I want to be a robotics engineer. Why? Because I thought robots were cool. That's it. Like, so I wanted to be a robotic engineer. And then at one stage, I said I wanted to be an accountant. And again, why? I'm not sure why, but I liked math. In accounting is a lot of math. Medicine kind of came later on when I realized I was a little bit scatterbrained. I talked to a few people and then they helped me, focus on that.